So I continue talking about pastors' wives, and let's talk about being a pastor's wife. Being a pastor's wife. Um, so do you think pastor's wife is by calling? Are pastors' wives called, or are they made? Are pastors' wives called, or are they made? What do you think? Okay. This is a question asked when it comes to leadership. Are leaders born or are they made? The same thing, like, are leaders born or are they made? So what I believe is that it is both and. Just as leaders, we talk about leaders made and leaders born. I feel like it is both and, but it starts with God, and it should start with God. If you are in the purpose of God, if you as a couple are in the purpose of God, and you came together as led by God and or as ordained by God, if you are in the perfect will of God, then you as a woman was created as this man's helper. And so helper doesn't stop at you being at home, being the wife at home. And I'm saying this even when it comes to to the churches that don't have pastors pastors' wives like on the forefront. I mean, these women, these moms, these wives back at home, you might not see them at the forefront, but they carry the weight of all of it. They do. They still do. So I'm not just talking about the pastors' wives that we see, but I'm talking about all pastors' wives, whether you see them at the front or you don't see them. So I believe it's a calling. If you're in the purpose of God as a couple, you are this man's helper. So you are there to help this person. You are there to to have their back. You are there to support them. Because let me go to starting a ministry. Let me go to starting a ministry because oh my God. Because I've been there. I've been there starting a ministry from zero, scratch. From thinking about a name, thinking about the logos, thinking about the colors, thinking about location, thinking about starting all that, even just sitting down to think that this is the route that we are going to take, this is the route that God is calling us to take. Because it's when the call is coming, it's not for one person, because that person is not going to go where they're going to go alone. And if you're like me, then you have to move from one place to another. You have to move estates, you have to move, like everything. It's like you're always moving. So I believe the call to the pastor also comes with a tag on the wife. So if you are working together, if you are tagging together, then the call is not just to one person. Now, the only problem is if there is no calling. So if you're answering to a call that is non-existent, or a call that is that is in your mind, or a call that is as a result of influence from other people, or as a result of, oh, this is the in thing, now this is what you're doing, or I don't know who has led you to start the church, So if you did not hear properly, then everything else is not going to flow. Everything else is going to flop, right? So so I believe by design that it is a calling. It is a calling, because if this is what God ordained this man to become, and God gave this man you, then you were part of their purpose. But remember, you also have your purpose. You also have your purpose. I remember when I first got married, and because I used to preach when I was a young girl. I used to preach when I was a young girl. I used to from school, from Christian Union, to church, to my youth, to my son, to my youth group. That is the kind of person that I was. But I remember when I got married, nobody told me. Nobody boxed me. I decided. I thought that, oh, now that I've gotten married to a pastor, I actually remember telling myself, not influenced by anybody or anything, I thought to myself that, oh, now I can step back because now I've gotten married to a pastor and he can do everything that I also wanted to do. I thought that, now like he has, like he had everything that I should have. And like he can continue. But an unfulfilled woman plus an unfulfilled man is equal to an unfulfilled marriage. And even when the man is fulfilled and the woman is unfulfilled, the marriage is not, the marriage becomes, it becomes like lacking in something. So it's a fulfilled woman, a fulfilled man making a fulfilled marriage. So as much as you're called to be a helper, as much as you're called to support this person, do not neglect your giftings. Do not neglect yourself. Do not neglect your calling, because you also have a specific call on your life. You have a purpose in your life. So do not give up on your purpose. Do not give up on whom God called you to be. Just come to a convergent. Just come to that place of, like, where are we? Like, this is who you are, this is who I am. Where are we supposed to be going together? Where are we supposed to converge? How are we supposed to flow together? But do not neglect your giftings. Do not neglect yourself. So is a pastor's wife called, or is a pastor's wife made? Again, I've said, by design, I believe if you had God when it comes to the calling, then you are part of this. If you had God when it comes to, like, the two of you being together, then you are part of this. And I've always said, there's a perfect will of God and there's the permissive will of God. So if you're in the permissive will of God, God is gracious, and you could also flow, you could also flow. But when it comes to the call, and to the pastor's wife, pastors' wives have a lot to do with the ministry. They have a lot to do with the ministry. I know sometimes, like, especially when the ministry has grown, people come and they do not know, they do not see the things that happen, that happen, the foundational things, or the things that happen below the surface, because a lot is happening on the surface. The pastor's wife has a lot to do with everything that is happening on the surface. And I've said, like, starting a ministry is not easy. I've been in starting the ministry, and I don't know what to say, but do not despise the days of your humble beginnings. Do not despise them, and do not forget them as well. Do not forget them. Pastors should not forget where they've come, how far they've come. They've come with their spouses. When things start going well, do not forget. Do not forget. I'm just calling on to pastors. Do not forget. Do not forget the days that you could not afford a meal with your family. It's your family that was suffering. Some are still there right now. Do not forget the days you did not have school fees for your family because you needed to buy a microphone. Do not forget the days you would move from one place to another and your family was suffering. Do not forget those days. So going back to the call, to the call. Are pastors' wives called, or are they made? So I'm just gonna throw that back to you. Where are you at? What do you think? Are you made? Were you called? Do you think you were called? And if you think you are called, what are you doing to strengthen your calling? If you think that, okay, fine, maybe maybe I'm being made, I was called and now I'm being made. What is your responsibility? Where are you? What are your giftings? And where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself as an individual? And that now collectively, what is it that you really, really want to do? Do not neglect yourself. Do not forget yourself. Because if you do, and now you focus on, okay, now I'm just going to like be behind this person and just like push them, because you might just push them so hard because all your energy is on pushing them. See, anything that is not balanced is not good. I love to say that. So if you give them, if you don't give a lot of your strength, you might not push them enough. But again, when you push them so hard because there's nothing else you're doing, you're just focused on okay, him becoming a pastor, and you're not doing anything. You're not thinking about Bible study. You're not thinking about maybe you're called to be like a financial, maybe you're called to do something else outside, and then now support in this other, on this other front. So you have to understand where am I? Where am I? And that, the only person that can tell you that is God. The only person that can tell you that is God. But if you find yourself married to a man of God, married to a pastor, then know there's something in your life. There is something in your life, made, called, whatever it is. There is something that you carry that is supposed to propel the ministry, that is supposed to move the ministry to whatever it's supposed to be. So check out. See you in the next episode.